One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day's even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey, that's kind of messed up. Warfare at the winter dance. At this one school, there was this kid named Evan. Yo, quiet, organized, he got straight A's. And this year, he finally had this big job. He was gonna plan the entire winter dance. And this guy had ideas. Lighting cues, playlist drafts, themed decorations. He had a binder filled with these ideas. He presents his ideas to the student government. So, what do you think? And this one girl named Kelsey grabs the binder, flips through it, and goes, yeah, no. This is ugly. Then she throws it straight into the trash can. You're done. I'll be taking it from here. And she does. She takes over everything. And Evan gets pushed to the side like an unpaid intern. He's very upset. The only thing Evan was allowed to do was run the technical side of things that night. And that included the fog machines. Fog machines that basically run on a water-based formula. Fog machines sit on the table, unguarded. So Evan shows up to the dance. Second it starts, he goes by the fog machines. He opens all of the tanks, and he dumps a full bottle of pure peppermint extract into each of the fog machine tanks. The second the lights go down, he turns every fog machine to max. Dancing starts, the DJ's playing the tunes, the fog was beginning to thicken, and before you know it, the gym turns into a pure peppermint hurricane. My eyes! Kids coughing, eyes burning, teachers screaming. The principal's like, chemical leak! Everyone get out! The fire alarm gets pulled, the dance evacuates, and now half the school is standing outside in the freezing cold. Who did this? This was my dance. Evan, crazy enough, didn't try to hide it. Yeah, but it was my dance first. Evan wasn't suspended. He was expelled. When the janitors cleaned the gym the next day, the peppermint was still so strong, they all had to wear goggles. And the smell lingered in that gym for literal years. That is insane. Yo, this teacher messed up. So it started a week earlier when the fire alarm glitched, and it began going off every 30 minutes. People took it seriously at first, but when they realized it was a glitch, everybody got super annoyed. This has got to stop. And it was happening on and off for 3 days. So a week later, it eventually stops for a bit. And then a week later, it happens in Mr. Halverson's math class. But he is so fed up and traumatized from the previous week that he just keeps teaching over the alarm. Oh, here we go again. E equals MC what? MC squared. A few students are confused and they stand up. But he's like, sit down, this is fake, we are not doing this again. And the whole class just sat there, staring, listening to the piercing sound of the alarm while being taught math by their unhinged teacher. Then, the door slams open. A firefighter storms in, full gear, smoke behind him, and he looks furious. What are you doing? Get out! The building's on fire! Everyone scrambles, backpacks are flying, the building is actually on fire, and Mr. Halverson is just standing there like, oh, no. So yeah, Mr. Halverson, during an actual fire, forced 27 students to stay in his classroom. Yeah, he definitely messed up. So this girl takes her boyfriend out for his 23rd birthday. Small Italian place, no reservations, just first come, first serve for the tables. Well, these two wait 30 minutes, and they're finally taken to a table. They order some drinks, they're settling in, they're having a very nice time. Then this family walks in. Mom, dad, 2 kids, and the hostess tells them, it's gonna be 30 minutes. The mom then loses it. 30 minutes? My kids are hungry now. This is ridiculous. People are taking up big tables when they're just couples. And she literally points right at this girl and her boyfriend. Like them. Yo, I think that lady's talking about us. Oh my God, she is. The mom then marches over to their table. Hi, you two don't mind moving so me and my family can sit here, do you? You're young, you can wait. The girlfriend's jaw drops. Excuse me? So get up. Get up, please, now. She's losing her mind. The waiter then comes over and is like, ma'am, you can't just ask guests to give up their table, okay? You're gonna have to wait like everybody else. This is ridiculous. There's no respect these days. So she goes back to the front. Her whole family looks super embarrassed of her, as they should be. She was out of line. And then when the hostess finally got them a table, it was right by the bathroom and the kitchen. So they were very uncomfortable. Good. This class was visiting a local science center for a field trip. But when they all got on the bus, the teacher was like, wait, did anybody bring the name tags? Miss, that's your job. Turns out this museum requires name tags, especially for field trips. And they were already on the bus. So right then and there, she pulls out a Sharpie. All right, foreheads it is. And she begins writing the kids' names on their forehead. First kid, Braden. Next kid, Leela. Then Derek. Some kids try to object. No, I don't want this. Well, that's too bad. She's like, oh, it'll wash off. It doesn't. By the time they get to the museum, every single one of the students had their own name written on their forehead, and it looked absolutely insane. The chaperones were silent, stunned. They were very embarrassed. But the museum didn't do anything. They said, oh, look, there's students and there's their names. Everything's fine. Well, 3 days later, kids still had ghost letters of their name on their forehead because it was permanent frickin' marker. Parents were absolutely furious. There was even kind of like a protest at the next school board. Moms were holding signs that said, my kid is not a whiteboard. And the teacher retired early that year. Yeah, sounds like she was kind of losing it. This kid was so quiet, he was made fun of for it. People said he was weird, awkward, boring, but then one day, the talent show happened. His name was Marcus. He never caused trouble, he sat alone at lunch, and he didn't talk much. So when his name got called at the talent show, people were like, wait, Marcus? Then Marcus walked on stage. He didn't have a smile, there was no intro, he just grabbed the mic, looked at the tech guy, and nodded. Then he opened his mouth and he sang opera. Like real opera. Some of it was in Latin, he had vibrato, the entire auditorium was silent. People were gasping, one girl started crying. This is beautiful. At the end of the song, he stopped and put the mic down. A second of silence, and then... Yes! Standing ovation, and he's standing there, taking it all in. Thank you! He was kind of a legend for the rest of the year, but after that year he had transferred schools and nobody saw him again. Until a couple years later, he got a full-ride scholarship to Yale, where he's now getting his doctorate. You know, people were calling him weird, but turns out he was in a whole different league. The kid's gonna be a star. After winter break, this new girl transferred to this school. Her name was Nicole. Nicole was kind of shy, she wore the same fleece jacket every single day, and at first, during lunch every single day, she would eat in her car by herself. But after a week, one of the girls from this lunch table decided to invite her to sit with them. Hey, I saw you eating in your car during lunch. Why don't you sit with us tomorrow? All right, yeah. Thanks. So the next day comes around and she's sitting at this table. She's not talking much at all. She's just smiling politely and eating her lunch. And she sat at this table for the next few days. And every day during lunch, she would pull out this tiny folded note and she would read it to herself. Then she would smile and put it back in her lunchbox. Well, one of the girls at the table asks this. Hey, so what's with the note thing? You do it every day. And Nicole says this. Oh, well, my nanny writes me a note with my lunch and she's done that every day since I was little. Then another girl goes, isn't that like kind of embarrassing though? Like, that's super babyish. You're not in third grade anymore. Nicole's face changed. Oh, well, I mean, she does it for my little siblings too. It's just something that she's always done. It's just super weird. The next day, she was gone. Back to eating in her car. No one saw her at lunch after that day. The person that originally invited her talked to her friends. She wasn't happy. You guys are horrible for that. She's had a really rough home life and that nanny's like a mom to her and I just can't believe you. And the worst part is, her friends laughed at her for sticking up for Nicole. That's messed up. The ice cream truck pulled into the neighborhood. Music blasts and kids are sprinting up. One little girl ran up with some crumpled up cash in her hand. A couple minutes later, she walks back to her dad. She's not happy. Hey, what happened? I gave him the $10 bill you gave me, but he didn't give me change back. He only gave me a lollipop. He didn't even give me my ice cream. What? Yeah, and then he just drove away. Now, this dad was so mad. Who would frickin' do that to a little kid? So the next day, what that dad did was he drove to Costco and he bought a bunch of boxes of ice cream bars and ice cream treats and brings them back to the neighborhood. He set it up in coolers at his driveway and wrote a big sign. Free Ice cream. Come up, everybody. Everybody is now with their kids in this dude's driveway enjoying some free ice cream. The ice cream truck comes. Come on, kids. But no one even entertains the guy. He just left. The next day he came back, but this dad was still doing the free ice cream thing. Nobody ever went to that ice cream truck again in that block, and he never returned after a while. Good. What a freaking jerk. She's 20 years old, still living at home. She's in college. That's me. She's got 5 younger siblings. Almost every single day, she is the one cooking, cleaning, and driving the kids around. In this house, that's just how it works. Well, one night she gets home late. Her class gets done at 7:30. Normally she's home by 8, but on this day she stayed to talk to the professor a bit. No big deal, right? But she came home late. Walks in the house around 9:15. I cannot believe you. Her mom is super mad. The sink's full of dishes. There's no dinner. One of the kids had to be picked up from practice by somebody else. The mom says, "You are absolutely useless." Excuse me? Her feelings were obviously hurt because she is definitely not useless. She does so much for her family every single day. Well, after her mom said that, she didn't fight. She just went right to bed. The next morning, she doesn't wake anybody up like she usually does. She doesn't drive anybody to school. And she doesn't make dinner that night. And then she does it again and again and again. And the house starts failing. Dishes are piling up, laundry doesn't get done, kids are missing school. Now everybody's angry at her. This is your fault. This is your fault. Useless. Milk. She realized all these things she was doing were expected of her. And when she stopped doing it, nobody stepped up to take over. They blame her. And shortly after that, she moved out. And her family hasn't talked to her since. That's messed up. She planned her son's birthday party. He was turning 13. She was a single mom. She wasn't wealthy, she was just getting by. And her son's birthday lands right next to Christmas. So most years he doesn't get much, but like I said, he's turning 13 years old. It's a milestone, so she saved up. She was gonna plan him an awesome birthday with his friends. Batting cages, cake, games, food, a scavenger hunt with a cash prize. She pulled out 4 $5 bills earlier that week to use for the scavenger hunt. Well, on the last day of school, before this kid's birthday party, there was an event at school that she gave her son $5 for. Later that day, her son's friend comes over to hang out briefly. After they leave the house to go play around the neighborhood, she goes to the kitchen and sees her purse sitting there, and her wallet is open. And she is convinced there's a $5 bill missing from her wallet. What the heck is this? She calls her son, "Did you take $5 from my wallet?" He says no. She asks if his friend took it. He says, "No, my friend didn't take it." And she's convinced he's lying about this, but he's sticking to his guns. "I promise you, Mom, I didn't take it and neither did my friend. This is crazy." "Well, I just don't believe you, so your birthday party is canceled. I already called the batting cages. It's over." All this over $5. $5 that she might have just lost herself. Maybe her son didn't actually take it. But she canceled his 13th birthday party anyway, and I think that's pretty messed up. How about you? In 8th grade, there was a social studies teacher that never gave homework, like ever, and she was universally loved for it. Then one random Tuesday, she assigns the class homework, and the next day, nobody turned it in, not one person, and she just detonates. "Well, I bet you all did your math homework last night, didn't you? Because everyone respects math. Who cares about social studies?" Everyone's like, what the heck is going on? Then, without warning, she steps on a desk, grabs the overhead projector, tears it down, and slams it on the floor. She grabs her keys, walks out the door, and she never returns for the rest of the school year. That's absolutely nuts. Have you ever dissected a pig heart? Well, this one biology class did. Everyone in there, goggles on, little scalpels, and there was an extra supply of pig hearts sitting on one of the counters. Well, one kid, as they were leaving, grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. Then his friend grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. Half the class is stuffing these cold, nasty pig hearts into their pockets, backpacks, and duffel bags. It was absolutely disgusting. Then, after school, behind the field house, a crowd gathers. There's 2 rows of kids, each of them with a pig heart in their hand. Positions, 3, 2, 1, begin. And just like that, this group of kids were playing dodgeball with biology class pig hearts that they were supposed to dissect. And it was, a mess. Pig hearts hitting kids in the face, splattering on the pavement. It was looking like a scene from a bad horror film. Eventually, the school officials came outside, saw what was going on, and each and every one of these kids were suspended for a week. I can honestly say I have never played pig heart dodgeball in my life. Would I? Maybe. This bully got smoked. So there's this kid named Mateo. He's super nice, he's quiet, and he always walks around in these old beat up New Balance shoes. And then there's Jackson, super loudmouth, And he wears these $600 limited edition Nikes that everyone compliments. Hey, yo, check the drip. Nice shoes, Jackson. Thanks. Now, normally, Mateo ignores Jackson because Jackson's constantly making fun of Mateo's shoes. But one day in gym, Mateo had enough. Jackson was like, bro, you're still wearing those nasty-ass crusty shoes? You're probably super poor, you freaking idiot. Everyone laughs. Mateo doesn't. Because here's the secret. Mateo is a walking sneaker encyclopedia. He can spot a pair of fake sneakers from a mile away. And nobody knew this about him. And Jackson, those $600 shoes, Mateo's known for months that those are fake. And he's kept quiet because he's a nice guy. Until now. When the class is doing laps around the gym, Mateo sneaks out and heads to the locker room. He opens Jackson's locker because, of course, he never locks it. And he walks out to the gym floor holding the shoes like evidence. Everybody, yo, dude, those are my shoes. Since y'all want to talk about my shoes, let's talk about Jackson's shoes. He pulls out his phone and he begins comparing pictures of fake shoes to the ones that Jackson has, and they line up. So this is a fake. Look at Jackson's. See that stitching? That's fake. Look at the logo. It's completely off. It's in the wrong font. Look at the sole of the shoe. Completely discolored. These are only worth $25. Everyone's like, what? Dude? So you're a freaking fraud then, huh, Jackson? No, I mean, yes. I mean, no. Bro, you can't clown people for their shoes when you're wearing freaking replicas. I paid more for my New Balances than you did for those fakes. And from then on, nobody made fun of Mateo's shoes ever again. Man, yeah. Legend. Yo, this is crazy. So one day, the beginning of school, students arrive and it's already chaos. Not a single classroom door in the entire school will open. Teachers are in the hallway jiggling their keys, yelling to the office, what is going on with this door? Yeah, mine's jammed too. What the heck? Well, it turns out, overnight, somebody broke into the school and hammered pennies into every single door keyhole. The principal comes storming down the hall, trying to use his master key on all the doors, but it wasn't working. Get maintenance now. The maintenance guy shows up with pliers. Yeah, we need more pliers, boss. We've been sabotaged. After a while, students have just been standing around, not knowing what to do, because the doors won't open to any classroom. Eventually, the school just decided to send all the students home. The teachers are livid, but the kids, they loved it. As everyone's leaving, they notice a bunch of locksmith vans begin to pull up. It was an entire operation. Dude, this is crazy. I know, but hey, no school today. Nobody ever found out who did it, but that day lives on as the day pennies canceled school. Nice. Mr. Donnelly was the new history teacher. Perfectly combed hair, crisp tie, he was very well put together. Then one day, one kid finds him on a bodybuilding website. Apparently, Mr. Donnelly used to compete in bodybuilding competitions. Well, he saw this picture of him, spray tan, oiled up, posing like a bodybuilder, and his bodybuilding name was Titan Steel. Well, this kid tells a bunch of people in his class. And the next morning, good morning class, how are we doing today? Good morning, Titan Steel. He's shocked. Excuse me? Oh, sorry, Mr. Donnelly. And by lunch, everybody knew Mr. Donnelly's secret. Hey, Mr. Steel, you gonna bench the vending machine? What you got for lunch today, Titan? A bunch of chicken breasts and protein powder? Oh my god. And he's hearing it all day, every day. Whispers of Titan Steel this, Titan Steel that. By January, he freaking snaps. If one more person says that name, I am quitting Titan Steel. The next day, he was gone and there was a sub. He actually quit that job. I guess he would rather be unemployed than be Titan Steel. Wow. That's absolutely insane. This kid scammed his entire school. Now, this kid didn't always do this, but he was very broke. So one day, he overhears that this girl named Jessica is having a birthday coming up. Doesn't even know her that well at all. But that night, he walks to the CVS by his house, and he buys a $2 birthday card. The next morning, hey, so Jessica's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm getting signatures in this birthday card, and I'm also collecting something small. Hi, can you sign this? I'm collecting something small for Jessica's birthday. Hey, I'm collecting something small for Jessica's birthday tomorrow. She's been having kind of a rough year, and I'm just trying to make her feel seen. People start signing the card. Some hand him $1. Oh, that's actually so sweet of you. Yeah, here's a few bucks. He's walking the cafeteria with this birthday card. That day, he got 20 signatures and $30. And he signs the card last. He says, you got this. We're all rooting for you. What? The next day, he walks up to Jessica with this huge smile. Hey, happy birthday. And he hands her the card, but not the money. She starts tearing up. No, because this is actually so nice of you. He does it again with a different kid. Anything helps. He's had a hard month. Boom, another $40. And he tries it again. Alex Johnson's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm collecting some money. His dog just died. Little did he know that Alex Johnson was sitting at that table. Yo, I'm Alex, and my dog's fine. What the heck? Crap. People start catching on to this shenanigan. And within a week, the school's investigating this kid, and it's became this giant deal. But he made $217 before this whole thing collapsed, which is actually kind of genius and kind of impressive. Come on, you gotta respect the hustle. She was holding up a stapler like it was a weapon. This is not a toy. Okay? Then she passes it around the class so that everyone can hold it and look at it for some reason. Now, this is the first day of first grade, and these kids are looking at the stapler like it's gonna frickin' explode. One kid's cradling it like a baby. Good stapler. Then it gets to him, and without hesitation, he takes that stapler and staples the palm of his hand. The room goes completely silent. Why did you do that? The whole reason the teacher did this was that the students could familiarize themselves with the stapler and not hurt themselves. But this kid said screw it, and now he's in pain. They rush him to the nurse. He gets a staple taken out of his hand, and the funny part is, he did the exact same thing the next week. Some people never learn. This teacher sucks. It's the first day of geometry, the class she's supposed to teach. And the first day, she drops a test onto every single desk. Let's see what you already know. People finish, they hand them in, she grades them, and then she calls up 2 names. You two, stay after. Everybody thinks they're in trouble, but they're not. Those were the 2 that got the top scores on that test. The next day, the teacher hands those 2 a packet. The packet has chapters in it, examples, and answer keys. The rest of the class gets nothing. She then tells these 2 students, since you 2 got the highest score on the test, you'll be helping me teach this class all semester. And they did. They would follow this packet on what to teach every single day. The next Monday, they would get a new packet. And while these 2 kids are teaching, she is sitting at her desk playing solitaire on her freaking computer. Eventually, kids start asking hard questions. Hey, so why is it this way on number 12 when it's supposed to be the Pythagorean theorem? Don't look at me, this is your lesson. She would literally never help. Weeks go by. If the 2 smart kids get sick, it's a movie day. And if the 2 smart kids are confused about a lesson, so is everybody else. She literally did absolutely nothing. And that was the last year she taught at that school. Good. Every single dog in the neighborhood knew this kid, even the mean ones. This kid made it a point. Every afternoon he would walk the neighborhood, stopping at every fence of every house that had a dog. Small dogs, big dogs, mean dogs, dogs with the sign, do not pet. The ones that would bark nonstop, the ones that would continuously growl. He would go to each one. He would crouch, he would talk to them softly, bring them pieces of ham or chicken or turkey. Hey, you're a big mean dog, are you? Hey, here's some turkey. Oh, here's some chicken. Yeah. Oh, here's a toy. Day after day, he was earning the respect of these dogs. Some dogs took weeks, some dogs took months, but eventually every single dog knew him and loved him. To the point where whenever he would walk by, the barking and growling would stop, and they would start wagging their tails. Well, one afternoon, this kid is sitting in his front yard. He's carving a little canoe out of a log with a knife. He's focused, like he's some sort of woodsman. Very nice. This is good cedar. Then he hears it. Heavy paws, deep growling, the rattling of a collar. And he looks up. Down the street, one of the neighborhood's scariest, meanest dogs got loose. And this dog is sprinting towards a neighbor that's walking alone. The neighbor does not know what to do, so he freezes. This kid knows this is freaking bad. This dog is about to attack this guy. So he tries to stop it. He stands up and he yells, "Rufus!" The dog skids to a stop, takes his eyes off the neighbor, and looks at the kid. And immediately the dog is now happy. He jogs past the neighbor, straight to the kid. The kid gives him some turkey and takes him by the collar. He then walks the dog back to his house and knocks on the door. "Hi, so your dog likes me, but he doesn't like everybody. You gotta get him some training. I saved you big time today." Kid then goes back to his yard, sits down, and finishes carving the canoe out of the wood. Like nothing happened. What an absolute legend. This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. $0.25 per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. $0.25 for one shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables, shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me $0.25 tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down. I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler's counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, we do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban, like, pot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. A backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went into the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle. This would happen across the school every single day. Different classrooms, different floors, but every day at exactly 12:17 p.m. Can I use the bathroom? 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 Nothing suspicious. Not really a pattern that these teachers could put together very easily because, like I said, they were each in a different classroom. But here's what nobody knew. At the far end of the school, in the quiet bathroom nobody ever uses, these kids would go and run full-blown underground Beyblade battles. Every day after they released from the classroom, they would sprint to this bathroom. And when they would get there, they would let it frickin' rip. They had a few of those classic plastic Beyblade arenas, and they were just going to town. They would put money on it as well. Come on, I got $20 on this. You're totally gonna lose, bro. Milk! Doesn't that sound frickin' awesome? They had a blast. I would love this. Well, more and more people were kind of told about this, and more students began joining. And eventually, it became this kind of thing. They were caught and shut down forever. But nobody forgot about that. The random bathroom Beyblade battles at 12:17 p.m. every day. That's awesome. This kid had terrible handwriting. Like, teachers would sigh whenever they saw his papers. Good Lord! So when this kid's class had to turn in a handwritten essay, he decided he was gonna actually try. I'm gonna actually try. So the night before it was due, he sat down. He had his pencil there, and he was ready to get to work. He took his time. If a word was sloppy, he erased it. And he did it again. Slowed the letters down. He was doing a really good job. The next day, he turned it in proud. It wasn't perfect, but it was way, way better than how he usually writes. Well, get this. The teacher looks at it and goes, whose handwriting is this? Mine. You proud of me? No, your handwriting has never looked like this. Somebody wrote this for you. Who did it? I promise you, I wrote it. No, you didn't. This is cheating. Cheating? No, it's handwriting. I worked hard to make my handwriting better. So now you're getting smart with me. All right, I'm writing you up. She drags him into the hallway. She's lecturing him about academic honesty. He tries to say, listen, I practiced. You told me to practice. She doesn't believe him. She calls home. The mom shows up. She knows how hard her son worked on this. She's furious. Okay, so my son is in trouble because he tried. He worked on his handwriting and now he's getting written up. Are you out of your mind? It doesn't make sense. The handwriting progress was too fast. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They bring in the principal and they make this kid write a paragraph in front of them to prove that he actually did write this essay. He sits down, he writes it. It took him a long time, but he did it. It was the same improved handwriting. The principal looks at the teacher. You owe him an apology. Teacher, red-faced, mumbling. I'm sorry for accusing you. Sure. They left. He gets an A on the paper and she never confronts him about anything ever again. After that year, she retired.
আজকের রাত 10টায় আমি ফোন দিব, আর একবারের বেশি যদি হয়।
মামা মালটা তো জোস। সরি 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 ভাবি।
তুই যা, তুই পারবি, তুই যা।
দেখ কিভাবে কই।
সেটিং মেটিং নাই তো? সেটিং মানে বুঝো না, পেন্টেরিতে। ও তো আমাদের ভাবি হয়, ওই হিসাবে আমাদের বিয়ে হিসাব ভাবছি।
আচ্ছা দাঁড়া, ওয়েট কর, আমাকে একটু ভাবতে দে। দেখি কি করা যায়। দোস্ত তুই থাক, আমি আমি যাই। আমি থাকবো মানে তুই থাক, তুই থাক দোস্ত।
রক্ত লাগবে রে।
রক্ত?
আসবো না মানে?
হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম।
আসবো না, ঠিক আছে, দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা, যাও।
কি রে, তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন?
দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল? এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে, তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস, ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগে থাকে।
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল।
গলবে, পাখির মন গলবে, এমন মন্ত্র দেব।
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, তুমি ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই। এটা কোনো কথা? তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না। সুন্দর মতো যাবি, ভাবির নামটা জিজ্ঞাবি। আর শোন, ভালো মতো কথা কবে, ভাবি লাগে। খালি ফাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, ফাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, এই বাদে আর কিছু পাচ্ছস? বুকিং মানে বুকিং, তুমি আমার আমি তোমার, বুকিং দিয়ে দিছি, ফাইনাল।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত?
তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো ও আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না? রক্তটা দিবি তুই।
আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত।
আমার বন্ধু জিসান আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসে ভাবি, আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধে হতে দিবেন না ভাবি।
আমার কাছে জিনের বাচ্চার নাম্বার আছে। জিনের বাচ্চা করতে চাস নাকি ইটিস পিটিস করতে চাস? বদতমিজ। হ্যালো বন্ধু, আমার রোদে দিছস? এই তো দিছি তো, ঠিক মতো রোদে দিছস?
কি শুনতে চান? আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি।
ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? তো গলায় দড়ি লাগাই দিছে ভাবি।
গলায় দড়ি দিছি মানে গলায় 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 কেন রেখেছেন আমাকে? কি হয়েছে বলতো?
আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
জিসান, আমার দরজা লাগাই দিছে। আমার দরজা লাগাই দিছে। কই যায়? কই যাস? ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, তুমি ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই। কোনো কথা, তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কি রকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না।